Welcome to Botswana. This is a land where nature's magic is alive and thriving. Picture stepping into a place where golden grasslands stretch as far as the eye can see, and the sunsets paint the sky with colors so bright they could be the work of an artist's brush. Here, rivers twist and turn like silver ribbons, and the air hums with the calls of exotic birds and the distant roar of a lion. Imagine gliding through the crystal clear waters of the Okavango Delta, surrounded by lily pads and towering papyrus reeds. It feels like stepping into a secret garden where elephants stroll peacefully and leopards prowl in the shadows. The breeze carries the earthy scent of the African bush, mixed with the sweetness of blooming acacia trees, creating a fragrance you'll never forget. But before we dive into this extraordinary journey, let me ask you a fun question. How much do you know about Botswana's famous wildlife? Here's a quick quiz. Which animal is often called the king of the Okavango Delta? Comment your answer below. Now, as you think about Botswana's amazing wildlife, let me share a couple of fascinating facts about this incredible country. Botswana is one of the few countries where elephants roam freely in massive herds. It's not just a few here and there. You can see hundreds at once, marching across the land like a scene from a nature documentary. In fact, Botswana has more African elephants than anywhere else in the world, which makes it one of the best places to witness these gentle giants in their natural home. You might spot them cooling off in a river, playfully spraying water with their trunks, or hear the deep rumbles of their calls echoing across the plains. Watching them move together, from tiny babies staying close to their mothers to the towering elders leading the way, is something you'll never forget. For anyone who loves nature, it's a dream come true, a chance to see wild elephants living the way they were meant to, free and untamed. And when you stand there, watching them in the golden light of an African sunset, you realize something. Botswana isn't just a place you visit. It's a place that captures your heart and leaves you dreaming of adventure long after you've gone. Stay with me until the end, and I'll reveal a hidden gem that feels like a slice of paradise, something you definitely don't want to miss. Our journey starts with Okavango Delta, a magical green treasure hidden in the heart of Botswana. Picture a huge puzzle of water and land, where rivers and streams make their way through the dry desert. It's so special because instead of the water going to the ocean, it spreads out to create one of the world's most beautiful wetlands. Imagine stepping into a world that feels alive, full of sounds and colors that surprise you at every turn. The air smells fresh and earthy, like rain on the ground after a long wait. As you glide across the water in a small boat, you might see hippos popping their heads out, their mouths wide open, looking like huge, grinning rocks. The sky above you is so big, stretching out as far as your eyes can see, with birds flying through the air, their wings cutting through the warmth. You can hear the soft sounds of the water splashing gently and the calls of animals in the distance, maybe a lion roaring or a bird singing a sweet song. Everywhere you look, there's something different. Tall, waving grasses cover the ground, and trees stand tall like quiet sentinels watching over the land. When you get closer to the water, you'll find all kinds of animals, from crocodiles lurking in the water to elephants splashing around and having fun. Sometimes you might even see a zebra drinking from the edge, their stripes reflecting in the water. There's a peaceful stillness that makes you feel like you're in a dream, but the wildlife makes sure you never forget you're in the wild. The Delta's beauty makes you feel like you're part of a story, where every tree, animal, and breeze plays a part. If you are watching this, then click subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It is completely free, but means a lot to us. Now, from the calm and lush Okavango Delta, we head towards a totally different world, the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. The Central Kalahari Game Reserve is like stepping into a vast, endless desert where the sky feels like it's stretching forever. Imagine a place so quiet and peaceful that the only sounds you hear are the whispers of the wind and the occasional roar of a lion in the distance. The land is dry, but it has a magic all its own, with tall sand dunes and wide, open salt pans that seem to go on and on. The air feels crisp, like it's breathing with you, and the heat of the day slowly turns into a cool, starry night. In this wild place, animals have learned to survive in ways that seem almost impossible. You can spot a black-maned lion walking with the grace of royalty, or maybe a family of desert-adapted elephants with their big ears flapping in the warm breeze. There are creatures like the gemsbok and the springbok antelope hiding in the bushes, ready to surprise you with their quick moves. And if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of the elusive leopard sneaking through the shadows as the sun sets. But it's not just about the animals. The land itself tells a story. The Sand People, who have lived here for thousands of years, have left their mark in the form of ancient rock art. These paintings are like messages from the past, showing how they survived and thrived in the harsh desert. As you walk through the reserve, it feels as though you're following in the footsteps of those who have lived here for centuries. In the dry season, the waterholes become the gathering spots for all kinds of animals, making it the perfect time to watch nature in action. The landscape changes dramatically during the green season, turning into a vibrant paradise with plants and birds filling the air. It's a sight to behold, with colorful birds like the crimson-breasted shrike adding splashes of brightness against the green backdrop. Whether you visit during the dry or green season, the Central Kalahari offers an unforgettable experience. It's a place where you can feel both the power and the peace of nature. And now, as we move from the stillness of the Kalahari to the richness of the Moremi Game Reserve, get ready to explore a new world full of wildlife and wonder. As you drive through this magical place, the land opens up in front of you, stretching out with grassy plains and tall, evergreen trees that reach for the sky. The air smells fresh, like the earth after a rainstorm, and the sound of birds calling fills the air, a song of nature's beauty. At times, the ground turns to swamplands, where the water reflects the sky like a giant mirror, and you can hear the soft ripple of boats as they glide across the peaceful waters of the Zakanaksa Lagoon. It's a place where every corner holds a new adventure, from the floodplains and mopane forests to the floodwaters that bring life to this wild world. And here, you're not just a visitor. You're part of the land, as if you're walking in the same footprints that have been here for centuries. As you venture deeper into Moremi, you might spot a group of giraffes nibbling on leaves high in the trees, their long necks swaying like graceful dancers in the breeze. There's a good chance you'll see lions too, lounging under the shade of trees, their golden fur shining in the sunlight like a crown of kings. If you're lucky, you might even catch sight of the elusive African wild dog, darting through the tall grass in a flash of spotted fur. Birdwatchers will find Moremi a paradise, with over 400 species of birds calling this reserve home. From the colorful kingfishers to the majestic storks that glide above the waterways, there's always something to catch your eye. As the seasons change, the landscape shifts dramatically, with dramatic thunderstorms painting the sky during the rainy months and the dry season bringing a golden glow to the plains. And when the rains arrive, newborn animals appear, drawing the hungry eyes of predators, creating a delicate dance of life and survival in the wild. Moremi is not just a place to visit. It's a place where you can feel the pulse of the land and its creatures, where each moment brings a new discovery. Whether you're cruising the waterways on a boat safari or watching a lion hunt from the safety of your Jeep, Moremi is a world of excitement, beauty, and peace, all wrapped into one. Next, let's journey to Kubu Island, where history and wildlife come together on this unique remote island in the middle of the salt pans. Kubu Island feels like stepping into another world. The giant baobab trees stand tall like ancient guardians, their twisted branches reaching for the sky, while the granite rocks beneath your feet have been here for over 2 billion years, silently watching the land. The flat landscape stretches out like a giant canvas, with the sun painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. As you look around, the salt pans sparkle under the sunlight, creating a vast white sea that seems to go on forever. When night falls, the sky turns into a blanket of stars, so close you feel like you could touch them. The air is peaceful and quiet, like the land is holding its breath. It's a place where time slows down, and you can almost feel the ancient spirit of the land. Next, let's travel to Gaborone, the bustling capital of Botswana. Gaborone is the capital of Botswana, tucked near the South African border. The city is growing quickly, like a tree sprouting new leaves in spring. The buildings rise up, but the air feels peaceful, like you're stepping into a quieter, slower pace of life. It's a calm place, safe and warm, like a cozy corner where you can catch your breath before continuing your adventure. Now, let's head over to Mashatu Game Reserve, where the wild beauty of Africa waits. Mashatu Game Reserve is a magical place, often called the Land of the Giants. It's home to towering trees, like the Mashatu tree, which stretches its branches wide, creating a green canopy over the land. The reserve feels alive with the sounds of wildlife, elephants trumpeting in the distance and birds singing from the treetops. As you drive through, you'll see giant baobab trees standing tall against the sky, their roots reaching up like something out of a fairy tale. The land is vast, full of plains, rocky hills, and forests that seem to go on forever. Here, you'll find the Big Five: lions, leopards, elephants, and more, roaming freely in their natural habitat. The air smells fresh and earthy, with a hint of wild adventure. Mashatu's wildlife is fascinating, from the graceful giraffes to the sneaky cheetahs, each animal playing a part in the ecosystem. You can explore the reserve by jeep, on foot, or even by horseback, making every moment feel like a new adventure. The best time to visit is during the dry season, when animals come to the water holes, making it easier to spot them. As the sun sets over Mashatu, we head onward to the vast, untamed beauty of Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park, where the adventure continues. Imagine stepping into a place so vast and wild, it feels like the sky and the earth are endless. Here, the land is a rich, golden-orange color, like a warm sunset that stretches forever. The air is crisp and dry, carrying the scent of sand and the distant call of animals. As you walk or drive through, you'll notice the sand dunes ripple like waves frozen in time. They shift gently with the breeze, whispering stories of the desert's secrets. Above, the sky is an ocean of blue during the day, and at night, it's sprinkled with stars so bright they look close enough to touch. This is the home of the famous black-maned lions their manes as dark as midnight, giving them an air of quiet royalty. You might spot them lounging under a thorn tree, their eyes half closed, but always alert. In the distance, springboks leap gracefully, their movements as smooth as a well-rehearsed dance. The stillness here feels magical, like the world is holding its breath. Even the wind moves softly, carrying the faint sound of a bird's call or the rustle of grass. Every now and then, you might hear the deep sound of wild animals. It echoes through the desert like a drumbeat, reminding you this is their kingdom. It's a place where you feel small in the best way possible, like you're just a tiny part of something so much bigger. As the sun dips low, the horizon glows with shades of pink and orange, painting the sky like a watercolor masterpiece. As the golden sands stretch behind us, the gentle murmur of flowing water calls us to a new journey, the Boteti River. The Boteti River feels like a secret ribbon of life, winding through Botswana's wild heart. Its waters shimmer under the sun, surrounded by golden savannas and clusters of green trees that seem to whisper stories of the land. Animals gather here, as if called to a meeting. Majestic elephants splash playfully, antelopes tiptoe gracefully, and lions rest in the shade, their eyes glinting with quiet power. As the river flows gently, it carries a calmness that wraps around you, like the world is exhaling a soft sigh. The air is filled with bird songs, each note blending into a melody that makes you stop and listen, as if nature is putting on a show just for you. Sunsets here are pure magic, painting the water and sky in streaks of orange and pink, like a giant watercolor masterpiece. It's the kind of place that makes you want to pause, breathe deeply, and feel the connection between the earth and your own heartbeat. And just like the Boteti flows seamlessly into the vast wilderness, our journey now leads us to another treasure, Chobe National Park. Chobe National Park is like stepping into a giant storybook filled with wild animals and endless adventure. As you drive through, the land stretches out like a huge sun-kissed blanket, covered in tall grass and trees, with the Chobe River sparkling in the distance like a ribbon of silver. The air feels warm and a little bit dusty, like the earth itself is breathing alongside you. Every now and then, a herd of elephants might appear, their massive bodies moving slowly but gracefully, like giant, gentle giants. The sound of birds chirping and the occasional rustle of leaves from the animals in the bushes fills the air with life. Imagine the smell of fresh grass and a hint of mud as you watch a lion lazily lounging under a tree, its golden fur glowing under the sun. Sometimes you might spot a crocodile sunning itself along the riverbank, its rough scales blending perfectly with the rocks. The beauty of Chobe is how close you can get to nature. Animals roam freely, and you feel like you're part of their world, not just a visitor. You might even catch a glimpse of a colorful bird, like a lilac-breasted roller, fluttering by like a living rainbow. The sunsets here are breathtaking, painting the sky in fiery oranges and pinks, like someone is painting the heavens with every color of the sunset. It's a peaceful place, yet full of energy, where every moment feels like a new chapter in an unforgettable adventure. As you watch the animals, you feel this quiet awe, as if nature itself is whispering its secrets just for you. And just when you think you've seen it all, it's time to move on to a new adventure, where we head to the nearby Khama Rhino Sanctuary, a place full of hope and purpose for protecting one of the world's most endangered creatures. Imagine walking into a wild world where the grass stretches out like a giant green carpet and the air smells fresh, like the earth after a light rain. This is the Khama Rhino Sanctuary, a safe home for rhinos, where you can see these mighty animals up close as they roam freely across the land. The sound of birds singing fills the air, while herds of zebras and giraffes graze nearby, their long necks swaying with each bite of grass. The peaceful vibe of the sanctuary makes you feel like you've stepped into a beautiful dream. The dirt roads here are lined with smaller water holes, and if you're lucky, you might spot a rhino drinking from one, its thick skin glistening in the sunlight. The sanctuary isn't just a home for rhinos, it's a safe place for all kinds of animals, big and small. There's a real sense of calm as the whole community works together to keep the rhinos safe and protected. This magical spot is like a treasure chest of nature, quietly working to make sure rhinos and other wildlife thrive for generations to come. Next, let's move on to the Khwai River, a place where the desert meets the water. The river winds through a lush landscape, like a shimmering ribbon weaving through the land, bringing green to the dry earth. Everywhere you look, there's a dance of life. Elephants slowly wading through the water, their massive ears flapping like sails in the breeze. Hippos bob up and down, creating ripples that stretch out across the calm river, while colorful birds soar overhead, their calls echoing through the air. The whole place feels peaceful and alive, like nature is taking a deep breath. It's a place where animals roam freely, where herds of buffalo wander by and lions sneak through the grass, their golden eyes sharp and watchful. As you glide down the river in a mokoro, a traditional canoe, the world feels like it's in slow motion, and you can almost hear the whispers of the wilderness around you. The Khwai River is a reminder of how beautiful and wild the world can be. From here, we journey on to Makgadikgadi National Park, where the earth itself tells an ancient story. The Makgadikgadi Pans is a huge magical place in Botswana, where the land feels like it goes on forever. Imagine standing on a giant salt flat, the ground crunching beneath your feet like a huge cracker. The air is so quiet that it almost feels like you're in a movie, with nothing around but the wide open sky and a few scattered trees. The horizon stretches far and wide, like a never-ending sea of white, and it's both peaceful and a little bit mysterious. When you look up, the sky feels so big that it almost makes you feel small. It's like being on another planet, surrounded by silence so deep, it almost feels like there's no sound. The sky changes color as the day goes on, turning from soft pinks in the morning to bright blues, and finally to rich oranges and purples as the sun sets. The Makgadikgadi isn't just about views, it's full of surprises. You might see animals like lions, cheetahs, and elephants roaming the land, or even a group of cheeky meerkats peeking out from the salt crust. Sometimes the land is home to zebra and wildebeest, making it feel like nature is putting on a show just for you. It's a place that makes you feel alive, where everything feels bigger, quieter, and more magical than you've ever imagined. As we leave the wide, quiet lands of Makgadikgadi Pans, the adventure doesn't really end. Just like the feeling of the wind on your face when you first set foot in a new place, the beauty of Botswana lingers with you, like a memory that stays fresh in your mind. Every corner you turn, there's something new to discover, whether it's the sparkle of water at a peaceful waterhole or the distant sound of wildlife. It's a place that feels both timeless and alive, as if the earth is sharing its stories with you, and you're just lucky enough to be listening. Just like the colors of the sky changing at the end of the day, Botswana leaves you with a feeling that's hard to describe. Something between awe and peace. Whether it's the calm of Nutter Bird Sanctuary, the wildness of Makgadikgadi, or the stunning sights of the Okavango Delta, the spirit of Botswana stays with you, tucked away in your heart. So, next time you're dreaming of a place that feels bigger than anything you've ever known, remember the wild heart of Botswana. The journey may have ended, but the memories will last forever.